Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I have the 2025 Chevy Colorado Trail Boss. This is my rental, so we're going to go ahead and do a review on it. This basically is a factory lifted off-road ready mid-size truck, and you can pretty much go off-roading right out of the box with it. But we're going to go over some of the exterior, lift kits, tires, powertrain, interior space, family usability, and just to determine if this truck is right for you. Did GM change anything from my 23 model to this 2025 model? And most importantly, how does it drive? How does it shift? And how does it compare up to the 2023 model that I'm coming from? So let's check it out. All right, guys, we're going to do an exterior walk around. So the 25 Trail Boss sits on a 2-inch factory lift compared to the base model Colorado. They do add optional 32-inch tires on here. These ones, however, are the 265s. These are more comparable to about a 31-inch, give or take. They've got the Wrangler, Goodyear Wranglers on these ones. Still nice. They do have a nice tread. This is what's going to give you those MPGs that you are looking for. If you're looking for a mid-sized truck that has decent MPGs, this may fit your bill. So some of the accents are going to be chrome. You can go ahead and plasti dip those accents to give you a nicer, more, I'd say like sleek, blacked out look on your truck that a lot of people go for. This one is a loaner. This one does not have the blacked out package from the factory on it. This does not have LED headlights or LED taillights of any kind. So what you're looking at here is going to be your basic halogen reverse lights. Even your lights back here for your license plate are halogen. Your rear cargo lights, brake lights are all halogen. And of course, your headlights are going to be halogen as well. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you were to bump up to the ZR2, the really only difference is you get LED projection headlights and you still get halogen everything in the rear. If you've noticed, you do have an air dam down here, and you can see that this is very nice, very clean. It does. It looks really nice. That is that factory lift in there. It does not have any rock sliders or rock rails, and this boasts about 9.2 inches of ground clearance. So can you off-road with it? Yes. Are you going to want to kind of probably put some bigger tires and a lift on it? Yes. But I would say from the factory, y'all, this is a really nice and capable truck. And let's not forget that G80 locking rear differential. And don't make any mistakes, it is a locking rear differential. Even though it's not a push button locker, it still does lock and it does work very good. And it is comparable, of course, to the 23, which has the same Eaton G80 locker in it. So all in all, I think the exterior is really nice. They have not made any updates to it since my 23. Again, this is the 25 on the exterior of this truck. But then again, I guess you don't have to, because it is still a mean, lean trailing machine if you look at it from the front. And of course, the Trail Boss is your budget off-roader. All right, y'all, I don't want to forget this really awesome slow drop tailgate. So this is standard on the Colorado Trail Boss, which is really nice that they added this on there. And of course, you've got your in-bed storage. So you're just gonna slop these over, and this is nice. You've got a completely semi-sealed, right? This does have a gasket. I wouldn't necessarily trust it fully. You got a drain plug here, so if you want to put some drinks or whatnot back there, you absolutely could if you are tailgating. And then all you do is push down and lock, push down and lock. This one, for whatever reason, doesn't have a spray and bed liner. So you're probably definitely going to want to get that sprayed in. And it does not have anything in the back. So there is no power. You can put your own power in here, but there is nothing in the back there as far as power. And of course, it does come with the rear backup camera, but for this truck, that is all it has. It doesn't have the tech package where you've got a 360 camera and all that. So with this one, of course, to keep that price lower, you're going to get your standard backup camera, but it does not have the 360 package where it would give you a 360 view, a front camera, and then cameras which would be mounted underneath your mirrors to look at your front and rear tires like my 23 has. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start this Chevy up. It has got an all new gauge cluster up here, and I really like what they did with the screen here, and I'm going to go through that with you just a second. So you can see here they got a couple new features, but it's going to be inside the interior of this menu. So your vehicle stats are going to be all new. This is very responsive here. I mean, you can kind of just see how responsive this is, and you're going to be able to click on anything that you need, you know, whatever the tire pressure is. Obviously, it'll go into the oil life, or you can drop down to any of your 3 gauges here at the bottom. Okay, y'all, let's get back to the menu. So you're going to have the 3 basic menu screens down here. Again, super responsive. They got a really cool truck that is up here, so you can kind of select the things that you want to select. Let's go to maintenance. They put this all on one screen, which is nice. And then, of course, you can dial in if you want to actually add these to your driver display or see just a larger display. So I think that's really cool that they did that. It's not like mine where it's just kind of, you got to like flip through the screens. This one's nice. Got everything up here, easy to read, easy to see, all in one shot if you're driving and you don't have it on your actual gauge cluster. So that's really nice as well. So then you got your trip. You can see here that this isn't super accurate right now. I didn't reset anything. So over the life of the truck, 965 miles on this truck, it's gotten 19.7 miles per gallon. That's not really too bad. But if you were to do like fuel economy, you'd be able to kind of see here where it's going to go, and this will go up and down, depending on what you're doing. Now, let's get back into this. Chevy did not change anything. We do not get any lights for our dash, so this is where all of your headlight stuff is up here. Next to driver, you hit this little light button, auto, off, running lights, headlights, okay? So, it is what it is. Let's check out this back on the main menu here. So, a lot of different things. You can access My Chevy. You got your reverse cameras right here. This is the only camera that you're going to get here. You're going to have one for your hitch. You're going to have, let me see if I can bring this out. So you have to have one up for your trailer, and then of course you'll have your lines on there, and then of course the trailer one. See, so this one's for the trailer. It puts this red line here for you, and then of course this is just if you're reversing like normal, and you can turn your parking sensors off if you absolutely need to. And of course you got all the other standard stuff. You got the trailering app here. Which is kind of nice. You got to add a new trailer, and once you do that, it'll walk you through the screens to set that trailer up, and your truck will remember that trailer specifically, which is really nice. You got your off-road modes here. You got Baja. We don't have a Baja actual mode for the truck to change the tuning and transmission, but you got a gauge here, so it'll show you your G's and your angles. You got terrain, your pitch and roll, and your tire pressures, and overlanding. You have your directions and your elevation here, which is, it's a cool feature, y'all. Not sure you're going to use it a whole lot. We do every now and then. And then, of course, the Chevy awesome feature where you can do the air down, and you can drag this over to start airing down your tires if you want to, and it'll beep the horn when you get there. And if you hit start, just for example here, I'll show you, it'll show you all your tire pressures and the directions to get you to go ahead and air it down. So what I want to show you next is the new gauge cluster here. I really like this. This one is essentially the same one the ZR2 had, even on the 23 model, but now they brought it to the 24 and 25 model. So my 2023 only has an 8-inch screen, and this one is the full length of the display, which is really nice. And you can switch through different types of screens here that you can go to. So I just think that's pretty cool. You can change this, mod it any way you want. You got just the mile per hour. And back to a single gauge cluster there. If you were to rev that engine up, you can see the RPMs. And then, of course, this one as well with those RPMs there. So pretty cool. Your steering wheel has basic functions, cruise control, talk, music. This one has a heated steering wheel, which is kind of nice. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, they put, this is new for the year as well, as this one has the dual zone cooling, which is nice, and everything is built in. So if you were to do this, it comes up here. It's not like mine, where mine is honestly just a gauged. It doesn't have dual zone or anything like that. It's not as fancy, and this has heated seats. And if you didn't notice, this has those, I forget what they call them. Are these the EvoTech seats? But they're nice. They're much more comfortable, and I do really like them. You've got your standard modes for your off-road. You got auto, 4 high, you've got 4 low, and 2. And then, of course, don't forget, you have your drive modes here. So we have off-road, and if you don't know what it does, it actually tells you what it does on the screen. So you can go through these. You got the tow haul mode, you have terrain mode, and then it'll switch back to normal. And of course, it says, please switch it back to 4 high. If you go to 4 high, to go into the other modes, which is obvious from just, you know, if you're just chilling in the truck, it's not going to go into your terrain mode. So the interior is pretty nice. Auto stop and start. And of course, you've got your lane assist warning here. Nothing fancy, it just vibrates the wheel. And this one actually comes with the charging stuff. So that's pretty cool. Now let's jump to the back and see what's up. All right, guys, so you've got plenty of space in the back here. I'm going to sit in here. I am 5'7", about 175, and I've got plenty of room here. This is, I believe, the biggest midsize rear seat that you can get. It also has your climate control in the back. No charging ports, but it is what it is. You know, Chevy does have this plastic interior. You are getting the Trail Boss. This is not a super premium package, right? It's meant to be out of the box, ready for off-road at the best budget price that you can get, and it's not a bad price. And they did add these really nice seats in here, which mine doesn't have. Mine just has cloth seats, so I guess this is pretty nice. I probably would have went for this upgrade because of the dog hair gets stuck to the cloth hair. So if you got a dog or an animal, you know, these are pretty nice seats. And I'll tell you just from experience, this rear end has not changed at all. And there is plenty and plenty of room for a car seat. And of course, because we got a little one, you have everything you need here. And I'd say this is a really nice, really large back room. You've got the heated rear window, and it does slide as well. These, however, do not fold down. These, however, do fold up. So let me show you what that looks like. Let me toss this up. So they do come up like this, and you got a little bit of storage back here, and that one actually comes up as well. But again, it'd be nice if these were to lay flat, but they don't, unfortunately. But that's what you got to live with if you're choosing the Trail Boss. But I still think this is a great value for the amount of space you get here in a mid-size truck. So all in all, I think the interior is really, really nice, especially for your budget off-road build. All right, here is the power plant of the 25 Colorado, actually 23 and up. This is the 2.7 liter Turbo Max engine, the L3B, 310 horsepower, 430 foot-pounds of torque at 5,600, or 310 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs, and 430 foot-pounds of torque is going to be at 3,000 RPM. And some people are like, well, 3,000, it's not as much as you'd think. There is a slight delay in the turbo, but it's not too bad. I'd say this is a very powerful engine, and the engine is been a strong runner in many different models. And this is paired with an 8-speed transmission. They have fixed most of the transmission issues for the 24s and 25s. So unlike the 23, where they're having a lot of valve body failures, this one seems to not be doing too bad. And of course, with that being said, I have drove this one at least for almost probably 100 miles now, and it has driven smooth as butter. First to second, no clunks. Second to first, no clunks. Reverse drive, no clunks, no nothing. Granted, it has 900 miles, but again, it's super smooth, and you'll be able to tell if there's probably something off with your transmission if it is not super smooth. But I do wish Chevy would put LEDs in and shoot, man, put some hydraulics on this hood. Let's be honest here. Moving into fuel mileage, you're going to get around probably 17 to 18 in the city, give or take. I know what the EPA says, but you know, it's hit or miss with those numbers. Let's take a look at the payload real quick on the sticker. So right there, so it looks like you're at 1,563 pounds. That is an impressive number for some payload, so not too bad. But as far as everything, again, EPA says it's 17 city, 21 highway, 19 combined, and I'd say that's pretty true to their word. If you have a hard foot, you're probably going to lose some miles per gallon. Mine gets about 16 with 35s. So, you know, getting 19 with this now, really, it's not too far off. I'm, you know, give or take, I might be getting 14 in the city, but it's really not too far off. All right, y'all, so let's wrap up my final thoughts here. Pros, I mean, you get some solid tires, the rims look sick, the truck does great on torque, great on power. I mean, this 2.7 liter delivers a great amount of power compared to its competitors. The gas mileage, not so good. You'd figure to get a little bit better. The truck is stylish, it's aggressive, but remember, it's not a ZR2. So just remember, you're gonna pay about $10,000 more for a ZR2. And depending on what you're doing, if you're doing mild off-roading and you're happy with that G80 locking rear differential and you don't need a front or the DSSV shocks, then maybe save your $10,000. If you want to go up and have, you know, the best in class, best of the best, reduce towing capacity a little bit, reduce payload a little bit, then ZR2 may be the answer for you. But I mean, for the ready to go out of the box off-roader, the Trail Boss, I still think out of all of the midsize trucks has some of the least amount of problems, and it looks the best. So, and I really love the look of the ZR2, and that's my personal opinion. But you can make this just like I did with my 23. You can make it look just like a ZR2, minus the lockers, right? The functionality of the lockers won't be there, but I still think this truck is a decent bang for its buck, considering all trucks now are expensive. So I don't have the exact sticker price for this one. Let me actually double check real quick. The glove box, it may be in there. But I think all in all, I think the Chevy Colorado Trail Boss is a pretty solid choice that you can't go wrong. 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. So if any of you were worried about any kind of transmission issues or glitches or anything like that, you know, you are covered by that. This one has a 3-year, 36,000 bumper to bumper. So we all know that all of the manufacturers are having, you know, a lot of issues. But you know, man, it is just a nice looking truck, and it's still, I really, really love the look of this truck. It is my favorite. So if you're happy with saving 10 grand, Trail Boss is your truck. If you want to get the best of the best ZR2 lineup, then spend the extra 10 and you're going to get all the bells and whistles that you're looking for. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this was a decent review for you. Again, just doing it because I had it as a rental. And maybe this will help you choose whether or not you want to buy the 25 Colorado or a ZR2 25 Colorado. And I will mention, just as a caveat, that these transmission parts and valve body parts are different than 23s. So there are some bugs in the 23s. However, it looks like they got some or most of the bugs out on the 25s. And of course, don't take my word on that. But I mean, with any manufacturer, you roll the dice. So God bless. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care.